So,
Now, like officially, the preseason is over because the international break start the real season every 3 days, 3 days, 3 days.
for those who have been part of Shady Gang from the beginning, you would know I like to start off the show with a statement. I've done cold opens, karaoke, preached the gospel of Manchester City. I think the next move is to put my show bros under the flames with questions they're not prepared for. I'm not a monster. I'll give you my thought process behind the question, give you time to think, add context, and you can answer without a reply from me or fellow show bros. It's just kind of like answer the question and we'll just keep moving. I almost think of it like a cleansing thing. It's gonna be fun for me to kind of think of these chaotic type of questions, but obviously chaotic in a good way, but chaotic type of questions. And if you can, try not to like add on with each other's points. Try to give as much of your own perspective as possible. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So my first question is, how many years does Halan have to stay to be a true City legend? The goal scoring is one of a kind. He has helped City win many trophies, yet if he left in 3 years, that's a 3-year stint. The whole thing would feel more like a whirlwind romance. City were part of his process in becoming the greatest striker of all time. To help, I have some player appearance stats. Erling Haaland currently sits at 102 appearances. Riyad Mahrez and Gabby Jesus have the same amount of appearances with 236. Yaya Toure with 316 appearances is 10 more than Ilkay Gundogan has at the moment. Ederson has 12 more appearances than Joe Hart with 348. And then KDB, he is 50 appearances until he passes David Silva. And he'll pass Kun Aguero in 4. So likely by the end of the 2027, Halan, his appearances would be comparable to Riyad Mahrez, Gabby Jesus, Alexander Kolarov, Micah Richards. You could call them legends, cult legends at the minimum. So I asked my esteemed show bros, how long does Erling Haaland have to stay at Manchester City to be a true blue, a City legend?
Those 102 appearances, are those all competitions?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You were going to answer, Charlie. I'll let you go ahead.
I mean, so here's my thinking. Legend does not have a timetable on it. It doesn't have a calendar. It's like it's what you do, the moments, right? You become a legend because you win things. And when you won a treble, you're 2 for 2 in, your Premier League campaigns. You're going for a third straight golden boot to be one of the, I think only the third person to get 3 in a row. That's legendary status to me. So right now, like if Erling Haaland finishes the season on another golden boot, so that would put him over 150 appearances, right, with all the matches we have left. I would consider him a legend already. 3 years. It's like D Rose, right? Like D Rose was that guy. Like we saw him. We know what D Rose was, and then things happen, right? He's still a legend just for what he did in that time. So yeah, Haaland, he'd be stamped after this year.
I shouldn't have let you go first because I don't want to build off of what you said, but you're right in that what he's done is unmatched in Premier League history. The level that he is scoring at, the pace that he is getting, whether it be goals, whether it be hat tricks, his time here will stand forever. So I would say if he's got 100 appearances, let's just get him. If he gets to, I don't think he needs any more, but let's just say he gets to 200. That gives him enough time wearing the blue shirt that he will always be remembered as a blue. I don't care where else he goes. What he will have done, while he won't break Alan Shearer's record in 3 years or 2 more years or whatever, we will all know if for whatever reason he leaves, and I don't think he will, but if for whatever reason he leaves, we'll all know that the only reason that he doesn't have that record is just because he didn't stay here long enough. He is that level of player, truly on the level of a Messi and a Ronaldo. He's having that level of impact, and he to me, he's already a legend. We will never forget these moments. Maybe that's me, but
in the rule, Crunk, can I say something else? It's kind of the bill, but I feel like it's special, right? Like the only other person in Premier League history, well, it's two people that I think made moves to Real Madrid when I think of like they cemented legendary status in a very short amount of time. I think of Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale.
I'll say Gareth Bale.
Bale wasn't at Spurs for 8-10 years, right? But when he was there, he stamped himself. That's why you earned the Real Madrid move. Like you proved yourself to be a legend. They only go after legends. Like, and Ronaldo, we know what he did.
But because they just got Mbappe, I genuinely don't believe that they have enough space to come back and get.
Oh, Haaland. For sure.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anywhere for him to go because Barca would be the only other place, and they're such a mess right now that they maybe more than a club, but they're not what they used to be. You know, they are not that same Barcelona that when I was learning to watch learning to love City, I knew who Messi was and I respected Barcelona because of the way that they played, Pep, all those things, right? They're not that club anymore. So there's no reason for Haaland to want to go to Barca from us. Right now, we are the better option. So I genuinely don't think he leaves anywhere, at least for another 2 to 3 years. And by that time, he will have cemented said legend status, and he'll be not just a City legend, he'll be a Premier League legend. He'll be just legendary, period.
Well, y'all answered. I'll be the dissenter. I think he needs to get to a captaincy. If he can just get 1 year where he's a captain, and he can be like a second, third, fourth captain, and then I can just be like, all right, you're locked in. Obviously, you can't ignore greatness.
He wore an armband.
Greatness. Hey,
he wore the armband. We saw him with the armband in North Carolina
already.
We saw him with the armband in Ohio.
And let us finish. And don't reply. You're breaking all of the rules, Terry.
Oh, sorry.
This is supposed to be a safe space for us to talk and give our thoughts.
You're right. Go ahead.
The one time that we won't be getting at each other. And honestly, I don't even really like half believe it, but it's just been a lot of talk about Haaland and him becoming a captain, what he needs to do to become a captain, his captaincy at the US tour. I've just been hearing a lot of that lately. So I don't know. I didn't
know the rules applied to you. Sorry. I thought they were just me and Charlie. You're like Alex Trebek. You're not a player. You just, you the game show host or whatever. So I thought you were just the host in this thing. So
that's fair. Normally, I probably wouldn't even give my thoughts, but it's three of us. If there would be two other show bros to talk, then I would just give them the space, and we would have kept it going. But just figured I want to give my little 2 cents in there. Obviously, you can't not call him a legend just because of everything that he's done and how he has done it. But it's like the thing, like, oh, legend. And I don't know. I'm just waiting for something else for it to hit harder, and it could just be another UCL, maybe another PL. I don't know. We will see. Time will tell. But I got to see a little bit more. We making art over here, baby.
I hate the most is when you don't want the ball. I hate it. You have permission to make a mistake. You have permission to lose. You have permission.
And that's when we get big.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
Attack everyone and send everyone.
think we're forgetting the most important thing. We're forgetting about focusing just on ourselves.
But we can do better. We need to take the next step, and there's no better place than taking the next step here.
Show ourselves out there how much we want to win it again.
We win 4 of the last 5 Premier League, guys. 4 of the last 5 Premier League. Are we gonna do it again?
Don't ask me again about doubles, triples, quadruples, fifth-tuples, six-tuples, and seven-tuples. So
Don't do it. Hey, and welcome to episode 106 of Shades of Blue.
World's famous.
We are the most comprehensive show about Manchester City, covering both the men's and women's game. Spanning both sides of the Mason-Dixon line. We making art over here, capitalize the A. I am Crunk Chocolate, and I'm with my show bros. Tarek, Sharpie, Charlie. What's good?
What's up?
What up? Happy Sunday. Happy start of September. It's a new month, new things happening.
And happy.
Hey, you know what? In the U.S., it's Labor Day tomorrow. Is that why we haven't seen Rodri yet? The unions argued, and he finally got his rest that he wasn't getting.
He earned it all. No red cards needed.
Yeah.
We all saw it. He's like, okay, we're good. You know what, Rodri? I hope we sit Rodri to the international break. Just come back for Arsenal, bro.
1,000%.
I mean, I'm saying like after the first match. Don't play Brentford. Just play Champions League against Inter and then Arsenal. You deserve.
You know I'm here for it. See how he feels. He might be itching by then because that'll be a lot of time off. But it was funny. There was a real quick clip of him walking through the tunnel or something like that, where Rodri, he just looked like he was along for the ride. You could tell on his face he was not playing. He just looked like this person who was just like la 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 la. And I could totally understand where, as someone who has played as much football as he has, where he's just like, I ain't got it right now. Like legitimately, I'm not locked in. Give me a few weeks, give me a month, and I got you. And that's exactly where he is right now. Okay, but before we get into anything right now, please, if you're on YouTube, thumbs up, like the video, show some love. If you're watching right now, we appreciate that. Like, just hit that like though. Like double up the appreciation. You watched and you liked the video. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, any podcast streaming service that allows you to rate, please give us that 5-star rating, a review. Also, boost that algorithm. Appreciate it. In today's episode, I figured I would dive into the fact that the Baby Blue Baddies are doing an Australian tour. They played 2 games over this last week. I watched both of their games against Leicester City and PSG. It was mad early. 4:30 a.m. was the second match against PSG. I wanted to talk about the new additions, how the squad looked, etc. We will then review the match against West Ham, the first official shock all applause of the season. Tangent real quick. I can't say how much it makes me happy. It just brings me joy. This is BTS for listeners, that y'all asked for shock alls and applause to be put in. Like, I know we talk about outside of Citydom in general, but I turned it into a shtick, and you have embraced the theme. So, I appreciate you. Tangent over. International break is here already. Well, not already, but it's coming up. We have some fun shows coming up over the next couple of weeks, episodes, some live streams that I want to tell y'all about. And then we're going to end the episode talking about Brentford, those bees. Oh, all right. Let's get into it, shall we? this is the part where normally I say Tom Bomb, where the Baby Blues Baddies doing to you. But I mean, I had planned on talking about all of this stuff myself because obviously I watched the match. But we miss you, Tom Bomb, whatever you're up to. Lando, we miss you, whatever you're up to. I mean, I know what y'all are up to, but I like making it mysterious for you listeners. They could be doing anything. Okay, so Baby Blue Baddies, they traveled to Alana Kennedy's and Mary Fowler's home country of Australia to participate in a preseason tour. Played Leicester City to a draw and won 4-3 in penalties. For this final match, which was the final of the tournament, I don't really know, but they played PSG and they lost 1-0. They gave up a penalty that Echegini scored in the 88th minute. I don't really want to talk about the games in depth. I just want to talk about the players, and I have it broken up into 3 parts: returning players, academy youth players, young players, and incoming transfers. So let's start off with the returning players. Kelly and Fowler got starts at right wing for each match. Him started on left for both games. My bet is for Fowler to get the start in the first match of the season against Arsenal at the Emirates. Huge first match of the season. Alex Queenwood, a.k.a. Palix, a.k.a. Queenwood, is fundamental to every phase of the game, similarly to Rodri on the men's side. If City lose her, I think they'll be fine, but it won't be the beautiful game that we would expect from them. Medina is smooth, faster than I thought, more techie than I was expecting, cool and calm in every situation. There was the PKs in the first match. Yes, they're not too serious, but Medina came up and scored the winning PK. It was never in doubt with her body language, her energy. Yeah, she should have earned a penalty during the match, honestly, if we're keeping it real. Her and Buddy both. Keating starting this entire season is not a lock. She has competition with Yamashita. And then Laura Blinkelde Brown and Poppy Pritchard are ballers. Their talent will get them in games. How they play when called by Gaz could win City trophies, plural. I think we're going to go down, up or down with them. Yes, sir.
I'm thinking about our midfield. We got Yui, we got Sparky. What's going on with Jill Roy? Is she with training, running, or is she still like months away?
She's training. I think,
Okay.
if I remember what Gaz said, she is a possible for Arsenal, but like very small minutes. But she's going to be here sooner than later because she's been training for a while. She stayed back with everybody. She stayed and she's been training, and that's what she's just been focusing on is training. She's been running. She's been doing drills, making passes, doing all of those things. I don't know how much contact she's experiencing. So that's what intrigues me, because even Medina, she is on a minutes expectation, and they have said that as well. Well, I think they're going to do something similar to Rord. These are two big of players, huge additions to the squad. Really can't mess that up already with, I'll get to her, but Riza Samiju, she already went down during the Olympics. So that's already one new player that we're going to be missing for a bit. Cool. All right. So next up, I guess any other questions about the roster?
All good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, cool. Next up, I will discuss the Utes who all got playing time. Every younger academy, 18 to 22-year-old player that isn't consistently part of the first team got playing time. I was at least able to see like 20 minutes of each player. So there's Gracie Pryor, is a center back, tall, strong, physically and on the ball. She signed a first team deal from the academy. Then there's Naomi Lizell, is another center back who came from Bristol City. She impressed Gareth and Niels as a left center back in a back three. in their 8-1 loss to Manchester City last season, playing for Bristol City. But she was a part of the Bristol City squad that won the women's championship title back in 2022 that promoted the club to the WSL. Then there's Evo Carroll, is a midfielder City brought in from FC United of Manchester. Lily Murphy is a 2022 arrival to the CFA who can play any frontline position. Murphy is a dual sport athlete playing football and track. She is a sprinter who you can see the fact that she is speedy immediately burst on the screen. And then there's Cody Thomas, is a right back, but she can play all the positions in the back line. Sasha Lewis, spelled S-A-C-H-A. Yes, the younger sister of Rico Lewis. Think Rico, but faster and a super fiery intensity. I think Rico has an intensity, but it's almost like a calm fire. Like he just doesn't seem to quit. Where her just her movement, the way that she stands and everything about her, you just expect that she's about to run past all the players and set Bunny up for just a banger of a goal. She also does Thai boxing, excuse me. She also does Thai boxing like Rico. And then finally, the incoming transfers, who are all Yui Hasegawa's national teammates. There's Risa Simizu, who I mentioned earlier. She injured herself during a match in the Olympics. Nothing has been announced about her injury other than the confirmation from City that she did indeed injure herself. There's Aoba Fujino, the 20-year-old forward, joined from Tokyo Verdy Belize, where she played 3 years there, moving up from the academy. She won the league MVP 2 seasons in a row. Speedy, determined on the ball, relentless, taking on defenders. And then there's the keeper, Ayaka Yamashita. She has won 6 top flight titles and 8 domestic cups, basically just a winner. And that's very key to bring to the squad that, we lost a lot of our winners over this summer. So it's good to bring that calm and mentality to the club. And she's currently Japan's national team starting keeper. All around keeper, amazing. Quick off the line, great reflexes, and good at anticipating where the attacker is going to go with the ball when they try to shoot. All in all, the squad looks great. And like I said, multiple trophies. I'm truly super excited about this club. And Bunny, she'll figure herself out. She's been out for a very long time. The refs were letting them rough her up. So I hope the WSL figures their shit out this season. Okay. Whew. So much talking. I'm going to let y'all carry us through this Man City West Ham. 3-1 win on the road against a squad is well drilled and could make things tough if at their best. Pep said, quote, "It takes a minute," unquote, for Gundo to transition back to Sete from Barca. Admitted that Gundo wouldn't have become available, that if Gundo wouldn't have become available, that they would not have brought, that there was no other player that they were looking at that they were going to bring in. The squad was going to stay how the squad is. And then speaking of midfielders, Pep was asked about the Paqueta to City rumors. Were they true?
I never said that.
Is he though? Was he?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Before the FA charge, was he one that you would?
Well, I saw in the newspapers potential we can hand 100 players every season. So that is the truth. That, of course, he's an interesting player, but always with West Ham players, and hopefully can get out of this situation for the benefit of him.
Hopefully he can get out the situation for the benefit of him. So, I mean, technically didn't say no, and the end in part.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where everybody knows we were looking at him. We were hoping to bring him in. But that didn't happen. And now that he is not a City player and will not be one, at least until January, and most likely not even then, right? So what did they want Pep to say? I mean, you can't really, like, in the NFL, in the NBA, if you say too much about another team's player, there's like, it's
Tampering.
collusion, or I forget the word that I'm looking for. What would you say?
Tampering.
Tampering, yeah, right. So it's like tampering. I don't know that they have a tampering rule in the PL. I don't think that they do, but it's the same effect, right? You just don't go around talking about other teams' players. So I don't know what they were hoping for Pep to say. I think more than anything, what they should have asked is they should have asked Paqueta, hey, did you think you went to City? Because he played a lot of balls to us in the beginning of the match. So forget asking Pep, ask him. That's the one you need to ask. Hey, you turned the ball over quite a bit. You do realize that your uniform, while it has blue in it, it's more claret, right? It's claret and blue, not sky blue. You passing the ball to the wrong team. I think that would have been a better question for him. You know what?
Got a bet on it.
You know what? I literally almost texted you guys. When I'm watching the game, I promise you this. I promise on everything. I almost texted you guys, or in the Slack or whatever, and just said, "Do we know if he's bet on this? Can we tell?" Because there was like, he was on a different page than everybody else on his team. Now, again, things happen.
Oh my
but
God!
In the first half,
the over 2.5 goals.
In the first,
we get this first goal easy.
In the first half, he did not look like he was playing for the home team. Let's just say it that way.
He just
was lit.
Conspicuous now. No more random fouls. Just take the over on goals. I'll tackle this.
Can we bet on how many turnovers he had?
See, but even then, that's specifically on him. So that's why he has to take the over. He has to give City the opportunity, make those big bets on teams that he knows have the efficiency. So maybe a cousin is going to make a real big bet when they play Liverpool, maybe when they play Arsenal, they'll make a big bet. Things like that. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, we won't see. We're being speculative.
And here I go derailing the show again. My bad.
Oh no, you are doing nothing but adding on to it. We out here. This is when I said let's take it to the next level. This is what I'm talking about. So thank you. But staying on the squad, is Pep happy with what he has?
In 2-3 months, it's back Oscar and Phil is in that position, and McAtee can play in that position, Gundogan can play in that position, Bernardo can play in that position, a different type of players like Erling, of course. So, and maybe it's a mistake, I don't know, but I like to work with not a long squad. I don't like to leave a lot of players without playing for a long time. And when you have a long squad and no injuries, start a month without playing, and I don't like it.
Oh, Pep, such an empath. Who knew? Would have been the same lineup for the third straight match. However, Sabio didn't travel with the team. Jack Grealish got the start. So Ederson, Lewis, Diaz, Akanji, Vardy, Silva, Kovacic, KDB, Grealish, Daku, and Haaland up top. What were their thoughts on the lineup? I mean, we all basically knew what we were going to get. Not much change. We've already talked about Rodri just vibing. So, what else was there to take from this lineup?
Well, first of all, I think we got to make sure that we look out for the people that couldn't catch the kickoff show, right? They're like, hey, what did the guys think? Because they're now listening to us on a Monday or Tuesday. So, our takes still matter. But I think when I saw the lineup, I was happy with the consistency, no issues. Grealish coming back, obviously because Savinho was out, caught my attention. But I'm like, he's good. He's healthy now. That's great. And I think somebody said it, I'm just supporting all the players. I want all of them to do well. So I'm hoping for the best, obviously. And I thought we matched up very well on the wings against those very mediocre fullbacks at West Ham. Terrible is too strong a word. Sorry.
So just very mediocre. Is that you felt good about that?
Solid 5.5 out of 10 on both sides. Just nothing exceptional. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Terry. How did you feel?
Did knowing that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right? He was kind of like, he's that guy that in the NBA, he just plays really good defense. Maybe he can, I won't even say 3-and-D but he's a great defender. You just put him out there, whatever, right? He was like the Sterling stopper back in the day, right? When Sterling was at his peak and in his pomp, he would come up against Aaron Wan-Bissaka and he would kind of shut him down. So seeing him out there on that wing, it's like, okay, before I knew what the lineup was going to be, it was like, okay, we're going to have Doku and Savio. One of them is going to be matched up with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Is he going to be that one-on-one defender that, he may not be able to get you anything going the other way, not going to really contribute offensively, but he's going to make that winger that he's faced up against, it's gonna make his life a little difficult. Did you think that he, I guess, did you is that what you saw out of him in the match, or did you think that he truly was just horrible and we
No. Terrible is a joke, but I do think that we have to think about the order and the hierarchy in the Premier League, right? There's a reason you go from Crystal Palace to Man U. That's because you're seen as oh, you're a top level talent. We're gonna pay this big bag for you. Then on the other side of the hill, there's a reason you go from Man U to West Ham, right? Your value has appreciated, your play hasn't excelled, so where now you kept your spot. They're like, no, we want to get off your wages. So it. I know he's just not that total fullback, right? Yeah. He's not Rico Lewis out here. And he's not as great on defense as a Kyle Walker, right? So, he's just a decent guy. But I feel like Jack is the perfect type of player because he's not trying to go necessarily past you on the byline, but he's just creating space, keeping him off. And, he would abuse Sterling because Sterling's tiny and would always try to get around him. Jack's, bigger player. So, but yeah, they're fine. They're just fine. A good team. Decent.
Just average. Okay, I got you.
It's average, yeah.
I love it. Okay, so match begins and City started off the match not great. That's the easiest way to put it. And then when they started getting some momentum and Bernardo was cooking early in the match, set Halan up for a sitter of a header. All he had to do was just boop. But Mans was just teed up and launched that bitch. And that ball was out of here. But 4 minutes later, shout out to Paqueta. It was a bad pass to him, but just also
I want to say from one of those fullbacks, from Emerson, just putting it out there.
Yeah. Oh no, you called it during. You called it. You were like, Emerson is not great. He's food. He's gonna be in trouble. And yeah, just a bad pass to Paqueta. Lost the ball. Bernardo just muscled him off the ball, snatched it, immediately released the monster. Halan is inevitable. Just did what he does.
So you know how we always have especially in the 17 to 20 range, the city goal, right? You go to the byline, you cut it back, somebody's there. We play those passes. I think we have that's the Haaland goal. He's been doing that since he was at Salzburg. There's a turnover, there's something happening. He's on the shoulder, just on side, right? That's the most important part. He's not Nicholas Jackson out here. He's just on side. And then that fadeaway hit where he opens his body and lets it run past the keeper. It's so beautiful to watch. And Bernardo was not playing that pass 2 years ago, right? City was missing that so much. So when I saw Bernardo hit it, I was like, wow, this is perfect.
Does Bernardo playing that pass correspond to Gundo being back in the squad? Because Gundo was the one that would play that ball. Gundo and KDB occasionally. Gundo consistently played that ball. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna give Gundo credit for in training being like, why y'all ain't playing that ball? Look, I done spent the whole year away, and what I noticed is y'all not playing that early ball. Play the ball. Play the ball. Because we know he's gonna be manager at some point, whether it's at City or not. He's gonna be a manager somewhere. I got a feeling he got up in the locker room and was like, look, play the early ball. You play the ball, man scores.
I wouldn't be against it. That's what it looked like. They knew that was going to happen. And Pep, Gundo, Kev, somebody was like, hey, we got to play this through ball. Hit triangle,
You
damn it.
think about it, because he played it jumping all the way to later in the match. Nunez played the same exact ball and got the same exact result, basically, right? So I just feel like somebody's been in somebody's ear and was like, look, y'all have to play that ball. Play it through. Let that man run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that was a big problem of theirs last season, was we're all being like, make the pass, and they would hold on to it or go wide or worst case turn around. They would send it out wide or turn around or go back, worst case. And so the fact that they're able to make that pass, feel the confidence to make the pass, like you said, maybe Gundo isn't saying something, but maybe Gundo is making those passes during practice and it's working. People are like, okay, I see what you're doing. Let's pick it up. Let's learn. Let's feed off of each other. I don't care how it's happening. I'm just happy that it is starting to happen. KDB, he started cooking right after. He had a couple of shots at goal that were close, stopped, even by the goalpost, bro. Then West Ham, they got back into it. Kudus to Paqueta, Kudus to Paqueta, who sprayed it out wide to Bowen. Bowen made a very simple cross, and Ruben Diaz did what he always does. Puts his body out there to deflect it, and it just went past Sharpie.
Did y'all laugh when it happened? Because I was giggling. I was literally chuckling. I'm like, well, that's the one. All right, cool. Now we get the Sharpie clean sheet. I can't wait for the next 2 goals. Like, I know they're going to come. You and we all knew 3-1 was coming. 3 of us called it on the pregame show. Like, so we just got there very quickly and was like, okay, bet. Let's go get 2 more goals. I love this club so much.
Yes, but the first half, it felt like, okay, yeah, we're gonna run away with this. But that second half, I was like, oh, hold on, because we were not. The game felt much different in the second half. We're not there yet, but yeah, you know, I don't know that I chuckled. I was just like, you know, it's just so we say Haaland is inevitable. I feel like giving up a goal is almost inevitable too. You know, I don't know. As much as I love clean sheets. I love to see the discipline, you know, especially when we're up. I don't know. I want to say there's nothing he could do. It's not his fault. He was trying. He was working hard, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I'm with
Can I also add real quick?
Yeah.
Kudus is gonna get so much money next summer. Like, he is so great.
Yeah.
He really is like a complete winger. He's everything Anthony was supposed to be at Man U. I will never let that go. That man managed both of those players and said, give me the Brazilian.
No,
dog. Right. That's the wildest show of, like, that's the biggest fail. Like, biggest crash out. Cause like, yo, how did he see that every day and was like, nah, give me Anthony. Fuck out of here. That's all right though. Racism will be the death of you. That's what you get.
Oh man. And then let's just get to it. That second goal. Rico doing everything he can to supply. I actually really love how Rico to Rico. Wow, words are really hard for me today. Rico to Haaland to Rico. They are feeding each other. Rico is yet to score from Haaland setting him up, but I really do love the opportunities that I really feel like everybody is trying to get Rico a goal. Everybody.
I mean, he's always around. He's always in the box, so he might as well score one. You know, like, the man lives on the 18. Like, he's always on that line.
That's what was
back shuttling.
Yeah, that's what was so interesting to me, because he starts in that right back position defensively, and then he inverts, but he doesn't invert into midfield, like defensive midfield. He inverts into that attacking midfield role, basically. And it's like Bernardo is kind of playing more of that defensive mid kind of sitting next to Kova, whereas you would normally expect Rico, but he's just so good, like you said, getting into those, getting into the box, getting into those open spaces, those pockets in the box, and he pops up consistently for with opportunities on goal or opportunities to create for his teammates, whether it ends up happening or not. He's in those places, and to me, it's just a matter of time. If you keep getting in the right spaces consistently, it's only a matter of time before he's going to score. And it won't be one goal. Like, I don't know, and this is not, I shouldn't even say it. It's not to knock anybody else. It won't be one goal or maybe even 2 goals a season. He's going to get probably 5 to 7 goals in the season because he's just in the right spots too often to not score more than that.
Yeah, it's coming when he can just calm down, because every single shot he takes it's just over.
Yeah. Oh wait, you hadn't gotten to the actual goal yet. We were on the build up. Sorry about that. I was going to.
Hey, no, well, you're here, but say.
Oh, okay. Because Holland's first touch, everybody. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's doing that now. Like it's like when you update your iPhone and it's that brand new one in September or whatever, and it's like, oh my gosh, we got these features. This is so crazy. This is so dope. Like, that's how it feels watching him take that type of first touch with the right foot and just smashing it with the left. Like, I want to see the stats of like the ESPN Sports Science, the power on that shot. Like, I need to go look at Squawka or something, because that was a crazy hit, and it was just so perfect. Like, all around from one side of the pitch to the other, Grealish starts it. Like, that's a beautiful goal, like a true team goal, not the one going front to back, but side to side, and just the precision. You can't stop it. Like, there's nothing anybody can do. Like, they're sitting in a 5, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, there were so many defenders back there too. They seem to have been able to figure out how to handle those lower blocks. Obviously, West Ham won't have as intense of a low block as other clubs, but luckily with like Leicester City and Ipswich, they're not really the clubs that are gonna hunker everyone back. So hopefully we really don't see too many 2 banks of 5. Oh my goodness.
Last thing. I just say, like, I don't think people are good at it anymore. Like, we're so good at breaking it down. We're gonna get that goal, and then your whole game plan is screwed, right? Like, it doesn't even help you to do it. It honestly just wastes your time, like, possibly attacking. And I guess, like you said, like, you can get the on goal or you get that one leak out, but it's play, man. Like, they keep trying to do the same thing. That's insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. Like, nah, no more, no mas.
And it's just not good on a mentality of a player to play like that, to just be on the defense and your whole game plan is just hope you get one chance. I don't know. It's like a spirit breaking style, especially if you don't get that one. Ugh. Okay. First half ends. Yeah. It's 2-1. And I mean, we have the lead. It's not too bad. We don't even, I know how we are. We're all champions, so, we're cool. We're calm. We're collected. But you did mention Tarek, right? When you were saying that the second half, it was a little wild for a bit. What was going on through your mind when West Ham seemed to be taking over momentum?
Well, coming out of the break, I mean, I knew that, again, they were at home, right? You expect them to have moments. And it's just a matter of how do we deal with them. You got to be able to handle runs, and when you're, as I think Pep and others would say, we have to be able to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things where you bend but you don't break, and you just got to, at points you got to do that. They have a unique mixture of attacking talent in those wingers, and I don't know that Mikel Antonio was great, but again, just he's always a threat with his pace, his power. That again, people talk about, but he is legitimate. All those things. So there was always a threat. But I just felt like we just had to be able to manage through it. And so yes, I was definitely on edge and afraid that we were going to give up a goal, especially until we get the third one, right? Up until you get the number 3, it's a 1-goal game. And we're back to even. And so definitely was on edge a little bit, a little nervous. But you look at how we play out the back and how cool we are. We don't care where you're pressing us. We will play the way we always do. We'll pass the ball back to the keeper with men running at him. We're just so calm and collected, right? I think that's the approach we take to everything. I'm nervous watching it on my TV, sitting on my couch, looking at the big screen. I'm nervous, but I don't think they are. And I guess that's what makes them champions. That's the mentality.
Yeah, and build on it. That was that one possession in the corner. I don't know how late in the second half it was. He might already got the goal, whatever. But it was just like Akanji and Bernardo, just like not giving you the ball back.
Yeah,
and they were just like, no, like we're going to get it back to the keeper. He is another midfielder out there. Like, sorry, like you're fucked. Like, there's nothing you can do if we don't want you to have the ball. And that it was wild.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that might have been after the goal, and we had brought in Gundo, and it was like at that point we had the ultimate possession team on the pitch. You will not get the ball back unless we want to give it to you. You can't take it from us. We're not gonna. We're just too good on the ball, and so it was like I said, nerve-wracking for me sitting on my couch because I'm just that dude. But it was actually quite impressive to watch how
So
just
beautiful.
comfortable we are, because you watch every week and you see other teams who try to do that and then they make a mistake. They turn the ball over. Again, you think about it, Emerson, who's trying to play a pass, he just not quite right to Paqueta, and then before you know it, boom, we're got the ball in the back of the net, right? That's the difference between us and everybody else. We don't make those mistakes. Not only is the passer amazing, but the person receiving the ball is amazing. They can handle the ball in tight spaces. We don't give the ball away, and we force other people too. I think the aggressiveness of our press has been impressive this season so far too. We've turned quite a few people over just because they just can't handle that pressure from us. So it was amazing, man. It was good to see. But yes, to go back, because I just kind of started talking, but to go back and answer your question, yes, it was nerve-wracking for me. But like I said, they don't seem to be bothered at all.
Yeah. And like you said, LK came on, then Nunes came on, and what was funny, I joked about in the kickoff show, I was like, hey, who's gonna possibly come on? And I was like, I can see Nunes coming on, but like we know what the vibes are. If he comes on, it's gonna be a wide player just to get some time. He's gonna be put out wide and just do his thing. And that's exactly what happened. And I love how just truly tapped in we seem to be with the club now. It turns out when you watch them in detail and talk about it often, you tend to kind of pick up a few things. It's nice.
I've never felt so good for a player on it like this a whole time on the pitch, because that man has gotten so much unwarranted flack because he did not become a superstar in year one. Like, people forget it takes time. This is different. Playing at Wolves, playing at wherever he played in Portugal, to this, it's levels, my boy. Like, you gotta grow. He had to improve. He's not old. Like, this isn't Jack Grealish coming over at 27 or whatever. Like no, this is a player who's still developing. So, and he has a specific skill set. Yes, he is not the control midfielder, but he has things that others don't. And like the fact that he can be a hybrid midfielder wing, it's really, if you talk about positionality, it's a bit. I was gonna say it's a bigger version of Grealish, because he does the same type of stuff. Like, he was on the wing, keeping the ball, moving it around, had a couple passes. into the 8. He just missed Kevin on one, where I thought Kevin was gonna get one at the penalty spot. But he's so talented, and that layoff, man, just perfect. That was Kevin De Bruyne-esque, that ball.
Hey,
Season is good, but don't forget it's 35 games.
oops, hold on. Haha, wrong one.
From now on, everyone is going to play because you cannot sustain that rhythm and these, actions every 3-4 days during 11 months. So, but everyone will be fit. I know the players. Look, today Mateus making assist like Kevin De Bruyne could have signed.
He said it. KDB could have done it. Oh man! And speaking of the third goal, the third goal, gotta love it. A bunch of just nonsense from West Ham. Like before the goal came, West Ham, yes, they were giving us trouble, but it was honestly they were playing with their food at home, and when you waste chances and you struggle, we'll get to it in Chacal and Applause, very similarly to United. You waste chances, you just give the better team a chance to get comfortable, and they're just going to eat you alive. But Nunes, while we were talking about him and that layoff that he did for Milan, he was the reason he got the assist. He was the reason why the goal happened. The ball came to him. The pause that he did, the little like stutter step that he did with the ball to let Kudus, Paqueta, whoever it was, just run right past him before he was just like, okay, I'll just continue dribbling now with all of this open space. And it forced the defenders, because someone had to step up and try to come at him. And the moment the defenders all went towards him at the same time, he just flipped it towards Haaland. I thought the pass was going to be too short, but he's fast enough to get to the ball, even if it's behind him, and get that separation. The finish, absolute killer. How do you do? It was like the fastest chip I've ever seen, because it was a chip, but it just launched past him also, so he didn't have enough time to react. I don't think he even saw that the chip was coming. I don't know. Mans is unstoppable. He's wondrous. And
hey, Terry. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
I was like, Terry, you remember you talking about Barca earlier, right? And you were talking about just watching them and Messi and respecting them. That's a Messi finish, bro.
Yes.
Like that type of precision, like you said, Kron, like it's a chip, but it has pace. But he definitely, like, it wasn't full hit, but like, like that's a Messi type of like mastery of the left foot.
And he did it with such quickness, because it wasn't like he had enough time to take a couple dribbles. Oh, this man's coming out. No, it was like bang, bang. Let me shape my body, chip. He's coming out. I'm going to chip him. It was like you didn't really have time to think. It's just a natural born goal scorer who doesn't need to think about it. It just is natural for him. It's just, boom, my body just knows what to do, because I just do it all the time. It just goes to show you what we don't see is all of the work that he's no doubt doing on the training pitch. Can you imagine all the goals he scores there? When he's even more free, when you don't have gain, it's like he probably scores some crazy goals out there.
Yeah,
which boosts your confidence.
And you said absolutely two things that actually could feed into clips, but let's do Haaland, because this is hilarious. He's hilarious.
What's your favorite of the 3 goals?
Like all 3, but the second one.
Why?
Because it's a great goal.
Because it's a great goal. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? There's nothing else. And then the clip that I actually played earlier, because Tarek said he scored it without thinking that much.
Season is good, but don't forget there's 35 games left. So last thing I'm going to focus about is anyone else. It's about taking game by game and to getting 3 points, and to don't think too much, because that's no good thing for the brain.
Don't think too much. Don't think too much. Oh my God.
Crunk, have you ever noticed that he sounds like a player that's like 28, 29. He talks like he's been playing as long as KDB. He's always done it. It's just crazy. Like, that's everybody at City, right? Phil does it. It's just, you don't even talk about other people. There's no big game for us because every game is worth 3 points. They all matter. And we know that. And so it's just like, no, we know it was a great 3 out of 3, but 35 left. Look at the math. We got a lot of time left. And it's just like, yeah, I did the job. Great. We move on. Like, it's so systematic that other players, people get so high and it's a big matchup. And no, it's just, we playing. We got a team.
1,000%. If you interview all 11 players after the match, they're basically all going to say the same thing. And they don't even have to be near each other. They're all going to say, hey, there's plenty of season left. We just take our time. We know who we are. We play our game. It's not that serious. So I just, I love that Halan is the one who's now saying these things, because he would kind of say it last year, but there were moments where he's being honest, and it now sounds like he is 100%. He's drinking the Pep Kool-Aid. He is locked in to the complete vision of the team, and I think that also is tied to the hunger in our presses. Yes, Halan, he was injured. He struggled last year. This year, he is healthy. He is good. And every player is needed in our team press for us to be as destructive as we can be. All 11 players need to be tracking back, need to making those presses, doing those extra things for the squad. And Halan was doing that.
No, it's better. It's playing much better in everything. He feels that there are details. I said the last press conference, finish the training session, stay half hour, 20 minutes, half an hour before to finishing short shots, first controls, and fit to a keeper. Last season, not even once was there. Yet he didn't feel good, was tired, he didn't feel niggles most of part of the season. Even with that, was there. And at the end, he's so smart, he needs the team, and what you can do is to play better and better to give more balls in this final third. And I think with Rico, with Gundo, with Kevin, with Bernardo, with McAtee going to play, we're going to create that situations where they move really well in smaller spaces. Because the transition, the last goal, for example, or the first goal, Bernardo win the ball, pass the ball and finish, the third goal with a space behind is unstoppable. There's no central defender. Not even with, with a gun. It's impossible. It's so fast, so powerful.
So fast, so powerful. Oh, man. This club, truly amazing. It's so wild that I forgot Kyle Walker came on. I forgot all of these things happened. I was like, oh yeah. I was just in La La Land. I was just living the life. I knew after we scored that the things were good. So let me get these tweets off, see what I need to do on all the other things. I was figuring out what I was going to make for dinner. Those were basically the vibes. Anything else before we keep it moving? Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, you did bring up Kyle Walker. Yeah, you brought up Kyle Walker, and again, I think everybody's going to play over the course of the season. But Rico is really good right now. He's in a really good, rich vein of form, and it's going to take a lot for someone to get him off the pitch.
Yeah, and
again, that doesn't mean Kyle Walker is bad. Not saying that.
Yes.
And there will be matches that by default he will be on the pitch. If we match up against Real Madrid, he's on the pitch. But Rico, man, I mean, was he matched up with Bowen or with Kudus?
Kudus.
Right. It didn't really matter because he held his own. Kudus is a bad boy, but he held his own. So even with players with pace and ability, he's shown that he's not a liability. Being
far from it. Yeah.
Rico Lewis, because that was the thing. It's like, okay, well, can he defend those really pacey wingers, big strong wingers? I think he's got everything he needs, man. And the more I see him, the more impressed I get. And like I said, at the end of the day, no disrespect to Kyle Walker, it's going to take a bit to win that spot back from Rico on a regular basis. Of course, he's going to play games. We got a lot of them coming up, but Rico's that dude, man.
Hey,
I think.
I was just gonna. You can finish after this because Tarek again triggered a sound bite where Pep was asked the same thing. With Rico's recent success, it has to make it difficult for Kyle Walker. But what I will say is, Sharpie, shout out to you. What Pep is about to say is exactly what you have been saying this whole time.
Different type of player. So what Rico gives to the team, Kyle cannot give us, and what Kyle gives us to us, Rico cannot do it. So, but that is what about. It's not long big squad, but everyone push each other, to in position. That is the only way.
Sharpie.
The adaptability is key. Before we leave the match, I just want to. This is not about Rico. This is about Erling Haaland. I think you might have said it, whatever, but like the fact that he already has 8 hat tricks in the Premier League in 69 matches, like 70 goals in 69 matches in the Premier League. He is 31 goals ahead of Mo Salah, so 70-39. Before Salah plays, I think Salah got 1, so 70-40 is the goal difference since Haaland's entered the Premier League. Like, that is ridiculous, bro. And the last thing I want to say is this stat from MCWFC. Haaland has 97 goals in 102 games with Man City. The current fastest player to score 100 goals for a club is Cristiano Ronaldo in 105 games for Real Madrid. So he only needs to score 3 in the next 2 games to break the record, or 3 in the next 3 to tie it. Like, and I say only because we know he can score hat tricks whenever. Like, it's really remarkable the levels he's at. And that's why when you say he's up there with Messi and Ronaldo, that's the company. Like, those are the guys when it comes to putting the ball in the net. Is that how you do it? We're not talking about a beauty contest. The ball goes in the net, and it is beautiful if you actually watch it and don't be a hater. Like, he has all the finishes you want. He's a classic number 9.
1,000%. 1,000%. All right. Shock, awe, and applause. Oh man, I'm super excited to hear what y'all have. I'm sure it's gonna be very similar to what I'm going to say. I feel like I should let my show bros go first.
I say go ahead with it.
But hold on.
You got it, Cron.
Okay.
I was amazed, because how inconsistent decisions can be. In the first half, there are 2 incidents, nothing happens. And then in a no-critical area, the ball hits Declan Hill. He turns around. He doesn't see the play coming, touches the ball. By law, he can make that call. But by law, then he needs to make the next call, which is red card. So we play 10 against 10. So this is what amazed me. It's at this level, it's honestly amazing.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Just frauds all over the place.
But he's right, though. Like, he's 100% right. João Pedro did not get that yellow card in the first half. But Declan got fouled, and then it was like yellow. Like, it's crazy, the refereeing in England. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all think that it should have been, like, the João Pedro should have been a yellow too. Mm-hmm. But I think it's because we would say he should get a yellow because there's a big emphasis on kicking the ball away since I think they started that last year, right? So he kicked the ball away. So by that rule, he should have a yellow. But even before last year, you couldn't delay a restart. If the player's trying to take a quick restart, you jump in front of the ball and you block it, whatever, you were getting a yellow, regardless of if you kick the ball away or not. And so I think by saying, well, he didn't punish Declan Rice necessarily because he kicked the ball away, but by kicking the ball away, he delayed the quick restart, and that's always been a yellow. So again, I think probably both should have been yellow, but again, they're not to me exactly the same. They're trying to move the ball quickly. They're trying to restart and you got in front of it. Just like, my kid got that yellow card in high school. It's always at every level been a yellow card. So why are we complaining?
Well, see, here's the thing. I think and this is what Arteta was explaining. Yes, intentionally, you have to read intent in that way. It is subjective, right? So like I could tell if somebody trying to like just get the ball away real quick versus a player who got up from getting fouled and turned around and it happened to hit his heel. That's all I'm saying. It's like that's why
it did happen to hit his heel, but then it hit his heel, but then he intentionally kicked it away. It wasn't like the ball hit his heel and then bounced away. The ball hit his heel and then he kicked it away. Even if he didn't kick it far, he kicked it away.
Yeah, I'm with Arteta on this one. But Brighton balled out. Like they took advantage of it. They're good, and that we always appreciate the Seagulls. I'm a big Seagull supporter. Love the South Coast. Amazing area in London. I mean in England. Sorry.
And I loved it. All these frauds. I don't know why I'm surprised at all. I told y'all City's winning a 5th straight, and my off the clip moment was it's not going to be close. It's going to be sad for Arsenal. And I said it's going to be sad for Arsenal, but it looks like it's going to be even more sad. I mean, hey, Lando was right. Lando was the one that said Arsenal's not even going to make it second. So obviously plenty of time to go. But still, these new rules has emboldened the refs, and the new PL ball seems to have players and keepers confused, and they need to get conditioned to the new Premier League, I guess. I don't know. But not one club closed their opportunity gap to Manchester City. Slot said that they didn't bring in any more players, which means there's only so high the team can fly. Arsenal made a couple of moves, but injuries are starting to pop up. Tottenham have another season where Ange Ball, I think they need another season until Ange Ball can truly terrorize the Premier League. And that's hopefully because it's, that high line. I don't know. It's trendy, but the Premier League, it grows and adapts so quickly. I'm a little worried about him, especially because he just looks so stressed. He looks so stressed. Aston Villa's fangs seem to have fallen out of their mouth. I don't know if it's like a weird case of gingivitis or something. I don't know. They don't seem as vicious to me this season. I don't know. It's just something it's just in a way that something, it's just my eye test. And then Chelsea United, they have direction. So that's nice, but they are admittedly years away. And then everyone, y'all just hate the Sky Blue Army, but you lack the firepower to stop us. Relying on freaking 115 charges to do your dirty work. Yes, scoundrels. Ugh. Shout out to Pusha T. All right. Speaking of Pusha T, Virginia, DMV, Sharpie Charlie, what you got for Shakal?
I gotta go to Bournemouth, man. I don't know. Well, I guess I should be shocked by Everton's total utter inability to play good football. I'm in awe of Bournemouth's drive. And applause to them for just being able to get 3 goals within the last 10 minutes of the match to come from 0-2 down to 3-0. I first saw the thing and I was like, wait, is this real life? And then I watched the highlights this morning. I was like, oh my God, Everton was looking so good actually. And then they weren't. And it was it fell apart. And it's just the lack of mentality to hold on for at least a point. They now have the worst goal differential in the Premier League at -8. Only 2 scored today, 10 allowed. Second, it would be Wolves with 9. And they gave up 61 match. Yeah, Everton. Good luck, man. Because Ipswich is decent. They got a point, their first point. Southampton at least has only conceded 5, so they're playing competent football. And who's the other person that came up? I should get the third team.
Oh,
Ipswich. Oh, Leicester. Leicester got a point. So yeah, it's Everton, they down there. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're out of here. Tarek?
I was gonna say Bournemouth, so it was just not even Bournemouth. I was gonna say Everton, I guess, because I said that I think they're gonna go down this year. I thought they would go down last year. They were able to stay up. I do think this is the year that they go down. You can't stay in the bottom three for as long as they have over as many years as they have, and it eventually not take its toll. It will catch up with you, and it'll be crazy because I think they've been in the Premier League from the beginning, and it's just a matter of time. But I guess I hate to do this. I'm gonna give credit to Liverpool and their new manager Arne Slot. Um, Perfect record so far, just like us. They've not given up any goals. They've kept 3 clean sheets. They've scored 2 or more in every match. Um, I don't know that they've played a bunch of really hard set of competition yet. Um, but they've beat who's in front of them, and they've done it score wise, at least pretty solidly, right? 2-0, 2-0, 3-0. So I guess I gotta give them credit. Like I said, even though I do hate to do it, but we'll see if they can keep it up once they hit a little bit harder series of matches, which quite honestly they don't really run into. I don't think they run into any hard matches.
I mean, they get
until
to
sometime in October,
games.
maybe.
Don't they have the games every 3 days as well?
Yeah, I'm talking about in the league. I'm not talking about
I think that's going to get to him because that's Arne. That's
maybe,
he has to
maybe,
learn.
but listen who they got though. I mean, it's possible, but they've got Nottingham Forest. Carabao Cup against West Ham has been postponed. In the league again, Bournemouth, Wolves, Crystal Palace. You get Chelsea in October the 19th, and then they got Arsenal the 27th, right? So I think they can get through
7.
September into October before they have a really difficult match. And so, we'll see if they're, I think once they get to October, November, we'll see if they're actually frauds or not. But for now, got to give them credit where, I think they deserve that. So we will see. I guess the biggest let me check the rundown real quick to see if you have this in there or not before I say okay. I think the biggest shock for me was the end of excuse me, the end of transfer deadline day, to see Raheem go to Arsenal, to see Jadon Sancho go to Chelsea. And I knew those had been talked about, but to see him actually come off is like crazy to me. I felt like the biggest knock on Arsenal coming in was just whether or not they were going to have enough depth, especially if one of their key players get hurt, right? And I think I said on some show somewhere, we survived and actually won a Premier League without KDB for most of the season, without Haaland for long parts of the season, so on and so forth. If they lose Odegaard and Saliba or Saka for the better part of a season, do they have enough depth to, to be able to push through that and continue to contend? I know Sterling hasn't been great at Chelsea, but to have him coming off the bench is a great pickup for them, I think. So it's a little, I guess, concerning to see, because again, they did just continue to add some additional talent, but I still back us to win it, of course. But I think they've done everything they could do outside of going and getting a true number 9 that's guaranteed goals, aka Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney. Right? They did everything else they could do, and so I think we'll see if we can continue to hold them off. But I'll give them just I think the shock was just how that all went down. Jadon Sancho to Chelsea is more of a case of, do you signed him to? Where is he playing? How is he playing? Again, you got rid of Sterling and said you didn't have space for him on the roster, but then you brought in someone to replace him. Where is he playing? Whose spot is he taking? It's just crazy to me to see how many players they have signed, how many people are on their roster, and how he's supposed to manage all that. We'll see.
You know what, though? 3 thoughts real quick, and I promise I'm done. The Chelsea thing is interesting because the squad is only like the real squad is 26, but at City, we just see 26 with so many players because Pep never has 26, right? Like, but it's like, wait, how do you do it? It's like, no, every squad has that many. They actually just have talent all around. It's a crazy thing. Like watching them is truly up and down. It's like the stock market, and I love it. Second thing,
hold on real quick before I just feel like he said he's only going to play with 21 though. So if you're only going to play with 21 and you've got 26 that are legit Premier League players, not academy, need to be, playing EDS level, whatever. No, these are legit first team players. You got 26 of them and you're telling them 5 of y'all not playing, plus the other people that are just extra on. That's just, I don't understand how you manage that.
Oh, I think what happened though, I mean, because he had 21 when he was in training then, but like you account for injuries, like right, they still isn't. I don't think Reece James is back. I obviously know they got to bring in Sancho. So my point is like still it's 23 to 26. But aside from them, I wanted to shout out a player who awed me. Ryan Gravenberch for Liverpool was a boss in the midfield. He looked like young genuine Wijnaldum out there, like just cutting everything up. Anticipation was on point. Always give black players respect. Like he balled out, and like there's a reason why they didn't have to go buy a bunch of players because they got the guys. Like they just had to play them. Like he just didn't play a lot last year, and that's on Klopp.
I was going to ask, why did we think that was? Like, why didn't he get to show that under Klopp? Because Klopp is the one that went and got him, but
he struggled with Nicholas.
That's right. Yeah, true. Couldn't get the rhythm, but like he can go. Szoboszlai can go. Like Diaz with a double. Like they got guys. Like I'm excited for Liverpool to be right there because last year they kind of surprised us, and it was like all like sentimentality behind Klopp. This is just like no, like we're still ruthless. And we don't like this guy and then ball brethren, he's in a ball club with Pep, me, we out here. Like he's out here ready to go to work and they just chill and they don't give up goals. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? Like they're so good again. I don't know. It's fun to have a real adversary. Like I love it. I love the competition.
Yeah, and I don't hate this Liverpool side like I did with Klopp. Arne, he seems chill. They don't play this like super chaotic, aggressive style that takes advantage of kind of like manipulating the refs and like hurting other players and stuff like that. They're just playing, good football, the beautiful game. So yeah, it's just good energy from them. All right, let's end talking Brentford. The Bees come to the Etihad, who are 6th in the league, 2 wins and a loss. The loss came to Liverpool at Anfield, so a 2-0 loss really is a positive if we're keeping it real. So Brentford, a team full of players dying to prove themselves. Who was the last club to beat Manchester City at the Etihad? Yep, Brentford 2-1 right before the World Cup break. So Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central, I will have on our friend and usual Brentford Connect, Charlie Core, for Breaking Bread. We will talk Manchester City versus Brentford. It is our match preview series live on YouTube, Twitch, and some other third site. We'll figure it out. And for now, I will just ask my show bros, how do they see the match going and end with the score prediction?
I like Brentford a lot. I love that the Tony saga's over. My man went from making 40,000 a week to 400K. Just want to say he got the bag. That is the bag. Happy for you, Ivan. They can go, and like seeing that front three of Shada, Wissa, and Blomo, like they're good. They're really good, and they can play different ways. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if Thomas Frank wants to try to counter, which he can easily, and go into like a back 5, and like play with 3 center backs, which is what I'm going to say is going to happen, right? That 3-5-2 setup. but I foresee us at home. Yeah, we're winning. Another 3-1 feels right.
3-1. I like that.
Oh, I do hope that we get by that point. I hope Rodri and Foden are good, and like we can see them in the starting 11. That'll be great.
Yes. I think Foden should be back. Pep just said he feels okay, but we want to continue to just give him the full space to feel 100% and practice. So I'd like to believe he will be with the squad against Brentford. Sabio should be back as well. And Rodri, yeah, I don't want to see him get any playing time, but if he does, no more than like 15 minutes, Pep. Like, by then, Brentford should know that they're losing, and I don't want to put Rodri out against a bunch of losers who are tired, because they will start fouling.
Personally, I would like to see Rodri start the Brentford match, because that gives him some minutes in his legs, gets him back into a rhythm before the Arsenal match. I don't want him coming first game back being Arsenal. I feel like that's a big ask.
That's fair.
Also, that's Champions League that week in the middle. That's the inter week.
Well, Champions League is before. It's after, between Brentford and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think he plays both. If you save him, because the thing is this, he's got to play either every 3 days between, because he's going Wednesday to Arsenal or he's going Monday to Wednesday. Like, you can't get around it. He's gonna have to play both.
Yeah.
So I think like you said, start him, play him 60, rotate. We got the guys.
Yeah. As far as Brentford, I have no. I don't pay close attention. So to be fair, whatever. I have no fear of Brentford at all. I think, Charlie listed off the players. That's fine. I don't think that there's anything that they have for us. So, did you say you want score predictions this early? All right, this is a little early, but I'm gonna say, I'll say 3-0. Yeah, I'll say 3-0. I was debating if I should go like 4. I'm gonna stick with my 3-0. I'm gonna stick there. But yeah, I don't think they have anything for us, man.
I like asking now and then again in the pre-match, because it's interesting to see how we change, like what happens through the week, and we're just like, you know what, I'm actually gonna take a goal away.
Well, yeah, and because I did that against West Ham. It was like, it'll be 3-1. And then I was like, right before the match, I was like, 2-1. And, I thought Jack, whatever. We still had no problem scoring. So I guess I could have just left it at the 3-1. I guess I should have just left it at 3-1. It wasn't that I thought Jack was going to be bad. I just thought Jack was going to be different. Different than what we had been doing. And so it was going to inevitably pull back a little bit, but that didn't happen because dude up top is a monster. And so it is what it is. But yeah, this game, Brentford don't have nothing for us. So I'll say 3-0.
Hey. Yeah, and I'm with you. 3-0. Run it up. We're running it up. Well, Shady Gang, Monday, I will be bright and early chatting with Daily Mail sports reporter Jack Gaughan. Befriended him in North Carolina. So it's just a recording. It's not a live stream. We will be recording for the episode to drop sometime in the next week. And then Tuesday night, shout out to Charlie Core of NYC Brentford Bees supporter group. I will be with him talking Man City versus Brentford. Wednesday, your favorite wrestling podcast, live recording. Thursday night, we got the list stream coming up with 3 most dope guests: Douglas Reyes Cerrone, Andy Diosa, and Alex Winley. I'm super excited. These are all first-time guests. I love bringing first-time guests onto the show. So tap in with us, and then naturally kickoff shows. And we have some collaborations that we will be doing with Into the Channel podcast. We will be doing a live stream with them, talking the whole UWCL. We're going to talk about the teams. This is something that they normally do every year anyway, but I reached out to them wanting to collaborate with something, and they were like, hey, this would actually be a perfect and really fun thing to work with you guys with. So really looking forward to working with them. And then All for United, WFC, we will be doing almost like a Manchester Derby season preview type of vibes. So diving in with our baby Blue Baddies, talking some WOSO. That will also be coming up within the next couple of weeks. But until then, check us out on @ShadesOfBlueNW on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, all those other things. Twitter, X, Sharpie Charlie. Tarek, we'll start with you, Sharpie Charlie. Let people know where they can find you.
There you go. Find me on Twitter or X @Sharpie Charlie.
Hey.
You can find me on Twitter or what's the other one? Threads @Tarek Peterson, TARIKPETERSON @Tarek Peterson on Twitter or Threads.
Perfect. And you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.